I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. First thing I have to do is chase the threads a little bit. This set didn't have any silver solder anywhere near it, so these threads are in good shape. Same for these. These are the cams that adjust the wheels, and looking at the cams I have to wonder if somebody decided to do some cobble work on it, or was that the way they originally came, because this edge is much lower than that edge. That means that this is going to try and sit cockeyed. Now this one's the same way. It looks like they were just roughly lopped off, not cut, machined, or anything else, and that hole is decidedly egg-shaped. Same here. Now, since the goal is to have these bearings roll freely, putting this bolt through there, and using the set of metric Allen keys, which I have but don't use very often, you can see that this just doesn't turn because the outer race rubs against the face of the part. So when I put it together last time, I used a washer set underneath it so that the inner race rides on that washer. And spins. Look at that, it doesn't rub. I got a nice bit of clearance in there. Bearings aren't the best, but they work. I will submerge them in some oil so that they will function better. These, I am just utterly baffled why they bothered. But because this pinches against the outer surface of the inner race, and this washer actually rides against the inner surface of the inner race, that being short doesn't really prevent it from functioning. So the bearings roll more or less freely. And by loosening this bolt up and turning this cam, I can adjust the blade center. You can see this little gold spot here. That's where the blade rubbed against the frame. Now this bearing attaches at this point. Okay, that's just as handy having that off the ring as having it on. And now the bearing spins free. So when this is mounted on the saw, I could go upstairs and grab the metric wrenches, but I have a close approximation of a metric wrench right here. Now we're lined up relatively close to where they go. These bearings need to be lubricated, but this gives you a pretty good idea how that's going to look when it's all assembled. And since I've managed to chase the threads, and everything seems to be working, think I can go ahead and paint this. I'm going to paint it with the bearings out of it this time. I don't think the paint helped the bearings at all. Besides that, I'd like to have the paint on all the surfaces. And this is much easier to align once it's bolted into the frame. So these get dunked in the cleaning tank, ready for some oil, and then we go from there. Even though this tap is broken, it's enough to chase threads. Fortunately, I didn't have to cut any. I'm going to have to come up with a replacement for this 8mm by 1.25 tap. Simple enough. A little soak in 50/50 should get those bearings back running. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching. This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union, without the express written permission of the parents or legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.